G'day guys, and how are you all doing today? Welcome back to the continuation of episode 24 of 10 Hearts Minecraft. This is part C and part 2 of the AMA. Thank you for the extra questions that have been asked in the interim, and I'll also answer the ones that I didn't get to last time. I hope you enjoyed hearing some of the answers that I had. So yeah, thank you very much, and we'll get right into it with some more questions. Now, the first set of questions is from Winter, one of my good buddies, and she has said, what is your first memory as a child? What did you think you'd be when you grew up? And if you could give one piece of advice, what would it be? So starting from the top, my first memory as a child. That's kind of weird because you know how sometimes you think you have memories, but then you're not sure if it's a memory or you're just imagining what you would have been remembering. I have a few of them, but there is one that I know is a concrete memory. And when I grew up in the country, as you know, and my dad did most of the building on the house that I grew up in. It's a really cool house. It's an octagon. That's right. Our house is 8-sided. It's pretty cool. I might have to post a photo one day. But then while he was building that, we lived in this other house. It was an old farmhouse, and it was a couple kilometers away from where I actually grew up. But my first memory that I have is of my dad. He had wiped down the kitchen table, and he walked back towards the the dining table, and he's walking back to the kitchen with the dishcloth, and he threw the dishcloth at the sink, and it landed on the what do you call it, the thing the water comes out of, the spout. It landed on that and just sat over the top of it, and it was only like a 2-meter throw, so these days you'd be like, oh yeah, that's nothing, but to me, to my 3-year-old brain, or 2-year-old, or however old it was, that blew my mind. My dad must be a wizard or some shit. It was amazing. And for some reason, my brain has decided that memory will stick with me. Not the time that I nearly got my finger sliced off in a lighthouse and screamed in the ambulance all 100 Ks, bleeding everywhere. No, I forgot that, which happened around the same time apparently, but definitely remembered my dad throwing a dishcloth. So there you go. So what did I think I would be when I grew up? Awesome. I thought, no. Actually, when I was younger, I thought I was going to be a marine biologist. Not because I was actually that interested in studying the ocean or anything, but because, as far as I knew, that meant you got to go fishing every day. And oh man, I still enjoy fishing, but I really enjoyed fishing as a kid. And I remember saying to my dad, I'm like, what could I do if I wanted to do stuff with fish all day? And he's like, well, you could be a marine biologist. And I was like, that is what I shall become. But I never did. So yeah, that's what I thought I'd be though. And then I also thought I'd be a meteorologist, and I thought I'd do a whole bunch of stuff, but I never ended up doing it. Not sure why, just never did. If I could give one piece of advice, what would it be? And I've clarified, this is just a general purpose piece of advice. What would it be? I guess if I give a piece of advice, it's don't sweat the small stuff. People, I find, tend to get really upset, and they really get agitated, and they really conflate these issues that are just not big issues in the grand scheme of things. And most of the time people get upset over stuff, it's just a misunderstanding. And if you just take a step back and go, hang on a minute, is this really a problem? Is this really important? It's not, and everyone can just be happy and move on. So yeah, I know it's common advice, it's not words of wisdom, but yeah. And as a bonus with that, I'll give you a little mantra that my Year 5 teacher used to say all the time. She said, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Which basically means you're responsible for doing stuff, for making stuff happen. And I think that's really important. If you want something to happen, don't sit around waiting for it to happen. Get out there and do it. Damn it. Do it. Yes. So thank you, Winter, for those questions. Thank you very much indeed. Who we got next? Okay, Just Small has said, What's your favorite TV series and why? And what's your favorite movie and why? Ooh, I have a lot that I really like, but I suppose a favorite TV series that I've loved for a really long time would probably be South Park. They do a great job of being really funny while also tackling important world issues, which I think is pretty hard to do these days. So I'd probably say South Park. Oh, I have so many favorite episodes from that, and anytime someone's being a bit of a redneck, it's just like and and what's your favorite movie and why? Oh, see, now this is a tricky one because I have a lot of favorite movies. Ones that really made an impact on me though: the first Matrix movie, the Monty Python movies are hilarious. Oh, the anime ones like Akira and Ghost in the Shell, they're really amazing movies. So pick one of them and that can be my favourite. I don't know. I'll probably think of a different one. Oh, Shaun of the Dead. I love that movie too. And Basketball. Can't forget that. Starzy02 says, let's do this. What is the secret of your pimpin' hat your skin always wears? I don't really know. I just decided once upon a time that I was going to wear that hat. That's what my skin was going to wear. And then I actually made that hat in real life. I knitted it. And that's the secret of it. Which kind of leads on to SD Crafter asked, are you planning to do more knitting with Bergasms? I don't know, SD. Maybe I am. Maybe I will need to be doing a lot of knitting soon. You never know. Probably is the answer to that. So thanks, SD, and thanks, Starzy. Next question by Catharsis. What were you like in school and university? Was there a difference? And what subjects did you enjoy or excel at? Oh, and why Richmond? I'll get to the second bit in a moment. I think in school and university I was fairly similar to how I am now. I've always been fairly outgoing, easygoing, like I'm happy-go-lucky, I guess. Always been positive. Studious, but not to the point of nerdiness, I guess. And I've never really worried what people thought of me either. So I think that's been a good thing too. So not a major difference. Oh, also another thing to do with me, I've never really worried about money, whether I've had it or I haven't had it. Not like not worried about it as in I'm rich, but as in like I was living off of about 10 grand a year, which is not much after you're paying rent and bills and stuff. Like it's about $30 a week for food or something spread over 7 days, so not a lot, but I still used to donate to charity and just not really care about money I had and still make time to go out with my friends, even if it meant I had to go hungry, just because it's you only live once and you can live without food for a day. So I guess that's a bit of how I am. What subjects did I enjoy or excel at? Well, I really enjoyed and I really excelled at outdoor education, which is bushwalking and rock climbing and abseiling and kayaking and all that fun stuff. My dad was actually the teacher in Year 12 for that, and I got full marks for that subject. But I also enjoyed and was good at the sciences, not physics, even though I wish I was, but chemistry and bio and maths. That was sort of my passion, so outdoor stuff and sciencey stuff. And in university, I did computer science. I'm a programmer, and I was really good at computer graphics and computer vision subjects. And that kind of leads on to ZB is a legend says, what is your job, if you're old enough to have a job? And what would you most like to have as a job? First of all, yes, I'm old enough to have a job. I'm 26. Over halfway to 27, but never mind about that. We'll ignore that bit. My job, I write iPhone and iPad applications for a company, which I won't tell you what it is. But yeah, that's actually my job, and there's a massive demand for those sorts of things. Not ones that you can buy on the App Store, but enterprise apps for businesses. So that's what I do with my programming skills, and also in my spare time I write websites, Minecraft plugins, things like that. He also says, what would you most like to have as a job? As I said in the previous episode, I'd love to be a video game designer or write video games. That, yeah, is really cool. But actually, that's what I say because it's to do with my skill set. If I was brutally honest, I would like to work on prosthetics. That has been something I've been interested in my whole life, and I'm still kind of sad that I never pursued it, and I still kind of want to, so I think I might. But I've wanted to work on prosthetics, as in if someone's lost an arm or lost an eye or lost an organ, creating a replacement that is functionally equivalent or better than what they had. I think that would just be the most rewarding job you could do. Like, imagine if you could take a child who's gone blind and you could create replacement eyes for them that would actually let them see well enough to, like, you know, see their family and their friends and play sport and stuff like that. I mean, that is the job I would most like to have, is research and development on prosthetics and things like that. So thank you for that question, Sizibli and the others. Here's an easy one. Team 10182 says, can the starting mole kits have sponge yet? I ask you this every chance I get. And I respond every time you ask me, yes, it can. You can change it yourself. So thank you, team. Okay, going back up. Here we have a question by Brian. Dr. Brian Lorgon 111. Dun dun dun. He's so cool, he even gets his intro music. Dun dun dun. He says, have you travelled outside Australia before? Describe. When can we expect more PTB? Watch others' videos, make videos, play UHC in SMP. If you can only pick two, what do you pick? And how do you come up with ideas? Burger Wars, PTB, UHC variations, etc. So starting from... Actually, I'll answer the Minecraft ones first. When can we expect more PTB? I think it's currently with Wintermore at the moment, so you'd have to ask her. I know she had some problems with her recording setup that she's trying to work through, so when she's ready to go, I guess. Watch others' videos, make videos, or play UHC in SMP. Man. Look, I suppose if I had to... this is a good question. If I could only pick two... Well, I love watching others' videos. If I couldn't watch videos, I wouldn't be able to watch your videos, Brian. I wouldn't be able to watch Kurt's videos, Winter's video, everyone else's video. I just wouldn't be able to. So definitely watch others' videos. And then, you know, the world, I guess, can do without me making videos. It will get by just fine. So that's kind of selfish for me to say that. Do you guys, maybe if you guys love my videos enough, I'd probably pick make videos over play UHC and SMP. So the second one's dependent, but if it was just me being selfish, I'd play UHC. Because, you know, even so I love videos. That's a hard question. Good question, sir. Good question. And how do you come up with ideas? Burger Wars, PTP, UHC variations, etc. How long is a piece of string? I don't know. I guess most of the ideas I come up with, well, they're sort of born out of necessity. So Pass the Parcel came about because there were a lot of people I enjoyed playing with back when it first started, like, you know, PD and Kev and Winter and yada yada yada. And the problem was that we're all in different time zones, and it was very hard to coordinate to play things like capture the monument maps or complete the monument and stuff like that. So PTP basically came about because I was like, well, you know, how can we do this? I guess we all need to play on the same map. I didn't have a server at the time, so I thought, well, we could just zip up the world, pass it on, someone else plays it, zip up the world, pass it on, and then we can watch each other's videos. Burger Wars, I think, was just actually, I can't remember the inspiration for that, but I was just like, you know what would be really cool? 1v1s. And then I'm like, but that'd be kind of boring without something else. And I was like, well, what if it was 1v1s kind of like how we do the speed challenge duels? But then I was like, but then that's no good, because then they'd just be kind of like talking to each other and then they'd fight and die. So I was like, well, what if there's a third person who asks questions to them? And that's how that happened. Sorry, I just need a drink. As for UHC variations, well, oh man, mostly that's just a case of, the game's getting boring because everyone's doing this one thing. How can I stop people doing that one thing in an interesting way? So, for example, the sky-loving miners was a case of people were spending too long mining around at the diamond level, and then they'd all rock up in full armor. I'm like, well, how can I stop people spending too much time underground? Make it so they have to see daylight every so often. Things like the mole wasn't my idea. That was actually Sep's idea, and I implemented it, but that's been great. The virus, I don't know if anyone remembers that, was a similar thing to stop people hiding. Player compass, stuff like that. It's mostly just, identifying something people are doing that I think is boring, and then, finding a way to counteract that, I guess. So that drives most of my ideas. But some of them I just think of, and I'm like, that's a great idea. People who've been in Skype chats with me would probably know that. I just come up with random crap. Now on to the first question. Have I travelled outside Australia before? Describe. Yes, indeed I have. I've been to New Zealand, crossing the ditch, as we call it. I've been to Bali and Java in Indonesia. And I've been to Japan 4 times now. My sister lives in Japan. She's married to a Japanese guy. And so I have a cast iron excuse to go back there, and they have really good snow for snowboarding as well. So I suppose I'll describe Japan because it's the place I know the most. If I could recommend anywhere to travel, it would be Japan. It is an amazing place to travel. It's so easy to get around. Everyone's friendly and helpful. I've never felt unsafe walking around in Japan. Like, you never feel like you're going to get mugged or anything like that. It's a really safe place. The history there is incredible. Growing up in Australia, you guys don't realise that our history past about a couple hundred years of just convicts is the Aboriginal history, which is an interesting history, but there's no written history. There's no real archaeology. To a very limited extent, there is some stuff. Just a bit of oral history. It's just not the same. Whereas Japan has this rich, varied history. Like, for hundreds of years, the whole country was just people trying to kill each other, and there's so much architecture. Like, they build a castle because if you don't build a castle on that hill, the guy you're fighting will come and build a castle on that hill. So there's just like every bloody hilltop's got like castles and forts and history, and so and so died here, and this is the inn where a bunch of people slay each other. Rah, rah, rah. It's amazing history if you love that sort of stuff. And people who've been on servers with me building would know it totally influences my design choices in Minecraft. Very Eastern theme there. But, and you can get these rail passes for like a couple $100 that give you 3 weeks unlimited access to the bullet trains. And man, I did a trip. I was staying in Tokyo. I got up at 5 in the morning, got on the trains, got on a bullet train at Shibuya, went all the way down to Okayama, got the local train from Okayama up into the mountains, went up onto this, like, walked up this mountain and visited Matsuyama Castle, walked back down, train back, bullet train back, got back into my sister's at like 10 o'clock at night. I'd covered about 1,300 kilometers by train, and it had cost me like sweet FAs. It's an incredible place. Like, I'm sort of raving about it. Oh, and the food's good too. So I definitely recommend that. And New Zealand, beautiful place as well, but I only went there when I was quite young, so I've got to go back there. So thanks for those questions, Brian. Very good ones. Actually, this kind of moves on to some questions by Petey Boo. Pardon me. The first one is, how does it feel knowing you are upside down compared to everyone else? Yes, even New Zealanders and South Americans. Well, in actual fact, Petey, it is the rest of the world that is upside down, and Australia that's the right way up. We just let you guys think you're the right way up, so you feel better about the fact that you don't live in Australia. It's alright, man. It's okay to feel envious. And he says, and this kind of follows on, more seriously, what's your favourite thing to say in Japanese? Because obviously I speak a bit of Japanese. Do you have any naughty sayings that you'd like to teach us? Have you ever played a video game or read a manga or something fully in Japanese? I have a bit of manga in Japanese. I've got the Bleach series and some One Piece and some other random esoteric series in Japanese. I have video games. I've got plenty of video games. Sengoku Basara, I've got that in Japanese. I've got some of the Disgaea games in Japanese, Harvest Moon, a bunch of the old Resident Evil games, Biohazard as it's called over there. As for naughty sayings, well, I'll keep it PG, but there's a really good saying there's a phrase, or there's a word, taihen zannen, which basically means great disappointment. So you can say something wa taihen zannen desu, or taihen zannen deshita if it's past tense, and that basically means the thing that you just said is a great disappointment. And there's another guy at my work, he speaks Japanese, and we had a meeting the other day and it was really boring and long, and we walked out and I said, kono kaigi wa taihen zannen deshita, which basically means this meeting was a great disappointment. So that's a great saying. It's really good, and it's very Japanese, because they wouldn't say, oh, it's crap, but they would definitely say it's a great disappointment. So thanks for that question, Petey. That would have to be my favorite Japanese saying. Now, where are we in the video? Alright, time for one more quick question. Marshy301 says, how big is the biggest spider you've ever seen? Big, like, I don't know, size of a dish plate. A huntsman spider. Look up huntsmans. We have very big huntsmans where I grew up, so that would be the biggest spider I've seen. But huntsmans are actually pretty harmless. You can pick them up, you can let them run on your hand. They're like tarantulas, how people have pet tarantulas. So, yeah, that's the biggest spider I've ever seen. Although I've seen pictures of like bird-eating spiders that are bigger, but you know, there you go. Oh, and if you're not watching the video, if you click over to the video about now, I think you'll see me getting the second skull that I have got so far. This would be number 2. Yeah, it's about 21:45. Hopefully I've timed it right. Anyway, about now. So if you're wanting to watch me get the skulls, it's not that interesting really. The whole thing's not that interesting. But anyway, okay, back to the questions. Thanks for that one, Marshy. Random Pixels has a couple questions, some that I answered last time. What have been your best UHC moments? Answered that last video. Who have been your inspirations for videos or UHC or anything? Well, interestingly enough, Brian was my inspiration for 10 Hearts, because he did the End of Crafting series, and then I just mixed that with Ultra Hardcore to make 10 Hearts. Inspirations for Speed Challenge Jules, well, that was Winter and Numbers who came up with the idea. Videos in general, I guess, just, you know, watching other people do videos. So yeah, I guess that. Thanks for that question. He also said, do you like cheese? Yes, I like cheese. There's this thing in Adelaide where I live now called Cheese Fest, which is exactly what it sounds. It's a 2-day thing where you can just buy platters and platters of cheese, and you can drink wine, and it's incredible. And after like an hour or two, you feel like you're going to die because you've just eaten kilos of cheese. It's incredible. It's the best fun. It's in October, so I don't think I'll be able to go this year, but never mind that. So yes, I like cheese. I like halloumi. Halloumi is one of my favourite cheeses, so there you go. But also soft cheeses like bries and fetas and things like that. What's another one? Random Guy Kyle has 6 questions. His first one is the most underrated shoe brand. Well, you guys might not have them outside of Australia, but Blundstones are really good shoes to wear when you're out and about. They tend not to fall apart. My dad's got a pair of Blundstones that have lasted him about 30 years, I think. So, really good shoe brand, but you'll never find them. They're like a workman shoe. Have you ever had a golden gay time? I'm going to assume that you are referring to the ice cream, golden gay time. Yes, I have had them many a time. I have had lots of golden gay time. Worst thing you've accidentally brushed your hand against? Oh, that's a good one. So on one of my friend's properties, there's a cave, and we were caving, and I was climbing up out of the cave, and I put my hand in like a bit of a crevice to sort of pull myself up, and my fingers touched something, and I was like, that's a really weird feeling rock. And I wiggled my fingers up and down. I'm like, that feels like scales. And I kind of backed up and I poked my head up so I could look in this crevice, and there's a tiger snake just sitting there, just like looking at me like, what up, bro? Like, why are you touching my back, you know? And I nearly kind of fell off this cliff face that I was holding onto. It was unreal. But I actually, instead of falling down, I like boosted myself up and like climbed up out of the cave in half a second. And my dad was actually further down below me with my friend. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Snake, snake, 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 blah, 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 blah." Yeah, that would be the worst thing I've accidentally brushed my hand against. Best experience while wearing a hat. Oh, you know, I don't often wear a hat in real life. I wear beanies. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume by hat you're going to include helmet. And I would say anytime I'm snowboarding wearing my helmet, which is always, because you should always wear a helmet when you're doing a sport like that, because dying is just a silly way to die, snowboarding without a helmet. Come on, people. So snowboarding would be the best experiences while wearing a hat. I can pick... Oh, hang on, where are we? 25... Yeah, we've still got a bit of time. You can pick any one historical figure to team with in UHC. Who and why? Nikola Tesla. Come on, the guy's a genius. It'd be incredible. He'd be the best UHC strategist ever. Nah, probably Genghis Khan, actually. To be frank, you know, Genghis Khan, once you taught him how to do UHC, he'd just destroy people. Now, if you jump over to the video real quick, I think this is where I get the third skull. I think I nearly attacked some pigmen by accident, so it's kind of worth watching. But there we go. Now, what else have we got? Last question by random guy Carl. Question marks or exclamation points? Interrobangs. Dun dun dun. So thanks for those questions. Now, last of all in this list is Dre500. He says, what object would you describe as burgasmic? Lasagna is pretty burgasmic. I didn't know burgasmic was actually an adjective, but there you go. Apparently so. So that's cool. What's your favourite Mindcrack UHC season? If you watch them, which I think you do. You're correct. I do watch them. My favourite, I think, is still season 3. There's some pretty good ones, like the season 4 ones, the first team of 4 that they did. But season 3, it was the first one I watched. And season 2 is really good with the 4 guys versus the dragon. But yeah, season 3, really quite funny. That's how I got into it, watching Kurt. And it was just, you know, it had badge grills in it. It introduced me to a lot of the Mindcrackers. There was a lot of derpage and funny stuff. It was back before there'd be legions of angry Etho fanboys hating on other people's videos for no reason. It was just a good see. It was really good fun to watch. So definitely season 3. He now goes on to ask, what's your favourite When Miners Cry? Did I answer these? Surely I didn't answer these. Oh, I'm answering them again if I did. So, what's your favourite WMC season? He's referring to When Miners Cry. Well, maybe it's an unreleased one. No. My favourite WMC season is definitely season 2. I feel like I did talk about this, but I think that was a different question. WMC season 2 just had all of the funny stuff in it. It was, yeah, for me, it was just ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, just go watch it, because I can't really explain how stupidly much fun it was. So yeah, that would be that one. And how would I feel if Mindcrack did a Moles UHC season? Well, I would feel pretty good. I would love to see them use the Moles plugin. I think it would actually be really funny. I think that people worried about the backlash of someone being the mole. Well, come on, it's all funny. It would be hilarious. So I'd feel pretty good. I would feel pretty good. And I just realised I forgot to finish the question that Catharsis asked me, which was, oh, and why Richmond? He's referring, of course, to the almighty Richmond Tigers Football Club for Australian rules football, and which is like one of the best games in the world. Come on, people. Why Richmond? Because obviously I didn't grow up in Victoria, and Richmond's a Victorian team. Well, I originally grew up going for the Adelaide Crows. And then I decided in 1996, which if you're keeping up is the year they won their first premiership, I decided I didn't really like the Crows anymore. They were a bit shit. And so I decided I would sit down on a Saturday afternoon and I'd watch the football, and whoever was playing when I turned it on, whoever won that game, that was going to be my team. And it turns out it was Richmond playing, and they won. So they were my team, and I've been a hardcore Richmond supporter ever since. But I will also say Richmond didn't really win many games for a lot long after that. They haven't been the best team. It's only just now that they've started to get their stuff together, and they're going to be playing in the finals this year for the first time since 2001. So come on the Tigers. Yeah, I'm a passionate Richmond supporter, one of the few in Adelaide, but such a good team, and finally doing well. So thanks for those questions, everyone. I think I've got through them all. If I've missed anyone, leave a comment below. I'll answer them later. It's all good. We're coming up to the end of this little AMA bit, but I have got a little bit bonus after this, where I went back into the nether real quick and kind of toured around, I guess you could say, just to show off my wither skelly killing area, because I realized in fast motion you can't really see what the hell's going on that well. So yeah, I guess thank you very much for watching this episode. Pardon me. Thanks again for your questions. Leave more down there. Stay tuned, because the final couple episodes will be coming out relatively soon. So we'll see how we go there. And I guess over to me to take this off with the last part of the episode, which I recorded before this AMA part. Kind of weird chronology right there. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for your questions, and have a good day. I'll see you later. Okay, g'day guys. I have just finished a big AMA thing, if this goes according to plan. When I put it in, got all the bits we need for the wither, but I just thought what I would do quickly, before we say farewell to the nether forever. Here we go. Figured I would just go back to the nether fortress. This might be a terrible idea. If I take damage here, I'm going to be mightily upset. We'll go back to the nether fortress, and I'll show you guys the wither grinding setup. With a skelly grinding setup that I had. Just I know all the footage up till now of me grinding stuff has been in fast motion, so you probably haven't seen all that much, or I don't know, if it were me, I probably wouldn't have watched it, and I just would have listened to me. But then I have to listen to me all day long, so I probably wouldn't have listened to me either, because God, I find me to be really boring sometimes. Anyway, so this was the area we originally had, and there was, oh look, hello guys. What's the bet? I can get a skull off these babies. Doink. Out of my way, Louis. I want to kill the guy with the bow. Alright, he's dead. Oh, it's this guy here. So, there were two pathways along here. There was actually a blaze spawner right where I'm standing now. And yeah, I made this big area up here for them, which as you can see they spawn, but I think they only spawn in the bottom two. So I don't know if you can get a 3 high area or not. But yeah, there you go. And yeah, there was a, I'm just going to leave this how it was. There's the experience from the guys I killed for the skull. Yeah, so there's a blaze spawner here, 2 pathways there, which are turning into that, and then this little auxiliary bit. Oops, sorry, recording was dropping frames there. I just stopped for a sec. Anyway, here was my little room with my viewing platform I could look out of. The thing with all the bones and such like. I don't really know why I'm grabbing this, but I'm a compulsive hoarder, so it doesn't feel right leaving some of that stuff there. Oh my god. There's my little runway here, which I used to walk up and run down there to cycle the mobs, and then I lit all that up with torches, but I have no idea if that helped, because I think pigmen can spawn in any lighting conditions. I think blazes can still spawn in here, I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, let's head back along here. And now here was the other area. Oh, hey pig man. I'm not gonna hurt you. Now there's this area which was kind of like a big indoor messed up conglomerated area, and I basically opened this whole area up, gave these guys the most spawning space that I possibly could, and that seemed to work fairly well for me. So yeah, so to the people just going for wither skellies, I think Brian's up to it in exploration and tactics, but then he'll probably come up with a far more efficient and better setup than than I did, just messing about here. But where did this go? Oh, that was like a back way down. But yeah, this was my nether base. Wait, was that coal in there? No one. Okay, stop. Wait. I'm going to keep a stack of that because why not? There we go. So yes, here we are. There was a portal. I tried to get the portals to link up. I had no success. I don't fully understand portal mechanics. That much is clear to me, and I probably never will. I tried to set up a portal. I thought you divided the coordinates by 8 and stuff like that. I tried to do that on a server I was on the other day, and I just ended up in like this floating portal thing in the sky over an ocean, nowhere near my base. So yeah, never mind. Anyway, this basically ends the massive grindy episode. We have all the stuff we need for the wither. I think we probably should go one more ep of prep. One more go to get myself ready, maybe build some little structures that I can hide behind and set up a appropriate area to fight. And then we've got this power 1 bow that we got while we were grinding. We've got a smite 3 knockback 1 sword, full diamond with a protection 2 chestplate, and protection 2 is actually really good in 1.4.5. Only 1 potion of health, so it's not so good. So maybe while we're prepping we'll get another witch, but I don't hold out much hope on that front. So yeah, I think guys, yeah, one more ep of prep, and then we'll probably kill a few of those villagers just because they're so annoying, and then we're going to go for it. Then it will be the finale. So thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone who asked questions. If I haven't got through all the questions, the next episode I'll probably answer more. Feel free to ask me some more if you'd like, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye now.